recently, Jalen Williams said there need to be a third all defensive team, and 2 defensive player of the year awards.
Mm-hmm.
What is your reaction to 2 player of the years? I know when I go to the international players ball, right? You can't have 2 players of the year. You know what I mean? You gotta have a player of the year.
So check this out. I can agree with him. I'm cool with the third team, third all
That makes
defensive
sense.
team. That makes sense. You got 3 all NBA teams. Why wouldn't you have 3 all defensive teams? I'm cool with that. I'm rocking with that 100%. The second or 2 DPOY awards, are there 2 MVP awards? No, there's not. So I don't understand that. I get what he was getting at, which is
I understand too.
there should be one for the guards and one for the bigs, or one for like the
there should
weak
be a
side shot
different
blockers
defensive
and like lockdown award, something like that.
It should
like,
be lockdown award.
Like I see what he's getting at, and I understand what he's trying to say. Didn't quite come out the right way, and so which means it's not very accurate. Like one is totally fine, but
you can't have 2 player of the years, baby.
You know what he also should have said, BD? What he should have, I think what the battle cry should be more of is just like who's actually voting. Because again, the award can't go to someone every year and then a week later you can't play in a playoff series. Like that don't work. And so I think the argument has to be voting process of who actually is doing the voting. Not quite. There's 2 awards. That just can't happen. I get what he's getting at. No, sir, that don't work.
Yeah, I think it should be another defensive award that is of equal value to Defensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have you got MIP, Offensive Player of the Year, MVP. MVP is an offensive category.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a defensive category. So having something, of that stature, right, even if it's elevated from Defensive Player of the Year, because usually that goes to big guys, right? Yeah. Or shot blockers, somebody who led the league in block shots. But that don't mean that they don't get dunked on. That don't mean that they don't get, I don't know. Defensive Player of the Year to me means you lock everybody up.
Yeah, and teams trying to get away from you. Like when offensively, the things that they're doing to try to take a score out of the game, they need to be doing to you defensively to try to take you out the game. And if they putting you in action, that's a problem.
That's a problem. I mean, when you go back and just look at a lot of the previous Defensive Player of the Year, like they had to be on the floor.
Absolutely.
Or
it don't work.
Had to, or it ain't working.
Yeah.
They were the anchors. When I showed up to Detroit and saw Ben Wallace there with that afro, bro, when he had the afro shooting up like that, I'm like, all right, I see what he on. You know what I'm saying? I know what Big Ben on.
Absolutely.
Or you show up to, a Boston or Memphis and you running into Tony Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like Tony Allen checking you up as soon as you put your feet on the mat.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It's a personality, it's an energy, but it's also like those dudes made it hard every single night, and they had to be on the floor.
Absolutely.
Right? That's it.
Man, we started a new segment where we gonna give some flowers to some underrated guys, the guys that deserve to shine, that don't quite get the glory for what they're doing. And this week's player is spotlight is Atlanta Hawks' own young fella, Jalen Johnson, 19 points, 10 rebounds, shooting 50%. And has been pivotal for the Atlanta Hawks resurgence, team that everybody counted out. Thought they'd be fire selling Trey, and Trey has turned it around. I see Trey been checking this year. Trey playing good basketball. Trey playing team basketball. He leading them young guys, and they having an unexpected year. So this week we got the young fella Jalen Johnson, and my question to you is he the most improved player this year? If not, who is?
I'm rolling. I think he is. He the perfect complement to Trae Young. When you look at his versatility, 19 points, 10 rebounds, 50% shooting from the field, inside on the offensive glass, fast breaks, three-pointer, highlights. Talking about somebody who made that leap, he took it upon himself to be that guy. What John Collins, what John Collins was for Trae Young, he's that and elevated.
Absolutely.
Right. And he gives them a certain versatility where he can guard almost 1 through 5 with the way that they play. And the way he handles the ball, the way he is a playmaker, it opens up a lot for Trae to be off the ball and be more potent in the offense. So talking about somebody who has improved a team and also improved himself, Jalen Johnson has put himself right in the category where he's that number 2 guy in Atlanta.
I love it. I think he's playing great basketball, and I definitely think he's the most improved player. Just with the leaps he's taking, I can stamp that one for sure. Most definitely.
Also, I have to say, if he don't get it, close
The
second.
Bruin is brewing,
Norman
brother.
Powell.
It's coming.
You
I
know I'm
knew
going.
it.
You
I
know,
knew it.
you know I'm going with Stormin Norman, right? Less is more. Norman Powell. One, I want to see him make the All-Star game. If he makes this All-Star game, he is definitely most improved player. Talk about somebody, having him on the show, just his level of improvement, getting a chance and taking full advantage of that chance. You got to put Jalen Johnson and Norman Powell right there.
Most definitely. I think Norm's having a great year. I hope to see him be an all-star. It's tough. It's a numbers game, and it's always tough, especially to get your first one. But Norm has definitely improved, man. Since he first came into the league, he was a non-shooter, and now that's what he do, And so just to make that jump in itself is incredible. I think ultimately he will get a nod and end up in an all-star game, whether it's getting a nod originally or someone gets hurt and he gets a nod. But I definitely think Storm and Norm and Powell should and will get an all-star nod. Most improved player, I will go with Jalen Johnson just because, Norm.
Just a level.
Exactly.
Yeah, just a level.
Like the level that the young fella's going, but also Norm is like taking more advantage of an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like we knew coming off the bench, Norm was getting buckets. You know what I'm saying? Like we knew Norm was capable of getting the buckets. I think he's just stepped into more of an opportunity, more of a role with the opportunity being there and just taking advantage of it. But I'm not sure I can go most improved because Norm been nice.
I get it.
I
get it.
So that's my only thing with Norm with that. But he's definitely deserving of being an all-star for sure. 100%.